Praise the Lord. We continue our journey today. The second most prominent person in the whole narrative of the passion, the death, and the burial of Jesus is Mary. Let us focus on the cross. From the cross, Jesus pronounced 7 important verses. Looking down at Mary, Jesus tells her, "Behold your son." Entrusting the dearest disciple, John, to the care of our Blessed Mother. That is like the prefiguration for all the disciples, for all of us. And looking at John, from the cross, Jesus says, "Your mother." Now, thereafter, the Gospel says, the dear disciple, John, took Mary to his home. Today, as we are also reflecting in the context of COVID-19, we need to take our mother Mary to our home. Right now, most of us are stationed in our homes. We are in quarantine, or we are in our hostel room, we are in the hospital ward, we are at home, wherever we may be. Bring Mary to our home. And look at the role of Mary. Now it's comparable to the role of the Queen Mother during the time of the Israelites kings in the Old Testament. Now, we see this in 1 Kings 2:19 and 20. 1 Kings chapter 2 verses 19 and 20. So, Bathsheba went to King Solomon to speak to him on behalf of Adonijah. The king rose to meet her and bowed down to her. Then he sat on his throne and had a throne brought for the king's mother, and she sat on his right. Then she said, "I have one small request to make of you. Do not refuse me." And the king said to her, "Make your request, my mother, for I will not refuse you." So during the time of the Israelite kings, the mother had 2 roles. One was the role of an advocate. The other one was the role of a counselor. As a counselor, the Queen Mother would advise the king. And then people would approach the Queen Mother, placing their needs before her, and the Queen Mother would go to the king and plead, intercede on behalf of the people. This is what we see in the life, in the ministry of our Blessed Mother. And we have that beautiful example at the wedding at Cana. Over there, Mother Mary is even interceding more forcefully than Bathsheba. John chapter 2 verses 1 to 11, where Mary places the need of a family at the wedding at Cana. They were running out of wine, and she goes to her son and says, they have no wine. And Jesus says, woman, what concern is that of you and to me? My hour has not yet come. Jesus had not performed the miracle, but at the intercession of Mary, he discerns that the time has come, and she does the first miracle. And then the mother is so confident that she tells the servants, do whatever he tells you. And we know what happened. So today, as we are in need, our families are in need of protection from COVID-19, we need to ask our Blessed Mother that she may intercede for us, place our needs. And when she prays, when Mary prays, it is like she commands. And that is what St. Peter Damian says, when the mother goes to seek a favor for us from Jesus Christ, her son esteems her prayers so greatly and is so desirous to satisfy her that when she prays, it seems as if she commanded rather than prayed, and was rather a queen than a handmaid. Although, in heaven, she does not command, but her prayers are so powerful that when she prays, she is almost like a command. We have the origin of the rosary in the year 1214, where Our Lady appears to Saint Dominic, and she reveals to him and asks him to pray with the rosary for the conversion of sinners and heretics. And in a number of apparitions, she is asking Saint Dominic to do this, and then this devotion spread. And we also see that in the apparitions and private revelations, Our Lady has been asking us to pray the rosary. In 1858 at Lourdes, Mary appeared with a shining rosary in her hand, and both Saint Bernadette and she recited the full rosary. Again in Fatima on 13 May 1917, in the first apparition, Mary asked them to recite the rosary, and also in the subsequent apparitions. Now we have very powerful examples of miracles, signs happening through the intercession, through the rosary. The first one, and the very prominent one, is the one that happened at the Battle of Lepanto. We celebrate this feast of Our Lady of the Rosary, and it has its origin in 1571, when there was a battle. The Turks, led by Emperor Salim, attacked the European countries, and the papal army, led by the Austrian emperor, was fighting the battle. But the European army the papal army was so weak that they were about to be defeated. And that is a time when Pope Pius V, he was a Dominican, and he asked the people to recite the rosary. And then several thousands of people joined reciting the rosary. And Pope Pius V declared it as a war of the rosary. It was a battle of the rosary. And what happened is, although the papal army was about to be defeated, the winds turned in their favor and they won the battle. That was on 7th October 1571. And that it so happened, out of the 270 warships owned by the Turks, 200 of them were destroyed, they sank. About 30,000 soldiers were killed from their side, and the casualties the other side were something like 3,000 to 4,000. So after this, the Pope announced that we will celebrate 7th October every year as the feast of Our Lady of the Rosary. Now, another powerful, miraculous testimony is from Hiroshima in Japan. We know that the first atomic bomb was dropped by the Americans there at 8:15 a.m. on 6th August 1945. Within a radius of 1 kilometer, 500,000 people were dead. All the buildings were razed down. But there was one building that was standing, and that was the Church of Our Lady of Assumption, with 8 German Jesuit missionaries in that. Nothing happened to them, and they said they were reciting the rosary. They did not have any effect of radiation or loss of hearing. And Father Hubert Schiffer, 30 years after this, he gave a testimony at the Eucharistic contest in Philadelphia. That was in 1976. And he said all the 8 priests are still alive. And he testified it was a miracle on account of the recitation of the rosary. He says 200 scientists tried to find out how could only these 8 German missionary priests could survive when everyone else in a radius of 1 kilometer were dead. And it was a miracle of the rosary. Now, we need to carry the rosary, we need to wear the rosary, we need to recite the rosary. This is a time when we need to get the protection of Mary through recitation of the rosary. So let us start reciting the rosary. All of us as a family these days start reciting the rosary. Pope Pius IX suffered from epilepsy and was sent away from the seminary. And when he was going, the rector gave him a rosary. Now for 2 years he was treated, and he came back to the seminary, became a priest, became a pope, and he was the longest reigning pope who reigned for 31 years and 7 months. The second longest reign was by Pope John Paul II. His mother did not have children. She prayed the rosary for a year, and Pope John Paul II was born. And we know that he was protected even during his attack on his life because of the intercession of the Blessed Mother, because after a year, on the first anniversary of his attack on his life, he goes to Fatima and he places one bullet, one among the 4 bullets, on the crown of Our Lady and thanked Our Lady for the protection. Again, Pope John 23rd was very poor in studies. So his mother gave him a rosary at the age of 7, and he became the Pope to announce the reforms in the church. We need to turn to our mother. Pope Pius VII declared in 1805, when Mary approaches her divine son's throne as advocate, she begs, as handmaid she prays, but as mother she commands. I have right before me 2 images, 2 statues that I have kept purposely. This is the statue of Our Lady of Guadalupe, which me and my wife bought when we visited the shrine. And all of us know that this is an image that was revealed to Saint Juan Diego in 1531. And later, Pope John Paul II canonized Juan Diego and declared that Our Lady of Guadalupe will be the patroness of all the Americas. And I have the image, the statue of Mother Mary from my own parish, St. Mary's Shrine in Kuravilanad in Kerala, in India. I was born in this parish. And this is the first image or the first apparition of Our Lady that has happened anywhere in the world. This apparition happened in 105 AD when Mother Mary appeared and told the children to build a church in her honor. And there was a miraculous spring that is still there. Even in the worst of summer, the water does not dry up. So I was born in this parish, which was built in 105 AD through the apparition of our Blessed Mother. And I have always stayed very close to the Mother. In every step that I took in my life, Mother Mary played an important role. I used to go for novena every Saturday. I still pray every day with this image in my mind, asking my mother, Mother, watch over me. And I know that the Mother is watching over me. Let us all ask, as we are passing through this very difficult, tough time, during this global pandemic of Corona, when we are all faced with threats of the coronavirus, let us ask for protection of our Blessed Mother. And she is going to protect all of us. So we pray, all of us pray, Mother, watch over me, protect my family, protect my near and dear ones who are with us here at home, our children, our parents, our brothers, our sisters, our friends, all those who are there, the whole world, the whole humankind be protected through the intercession of our Blessed Mother. We need to pray. We know that on 15th March, our Pope Francis went to the Basilica of Mary Major in Rome to pray in front of that icon of Our Lady, that she may protect us from this pandemic. That is an icon where Pope Francis goes during every apostolic journey, before and after, he goes there to pray. So Pope Francis went there, he sat there and prayed that the pandemic may end. This is a very powerful image which was taken by Pope Saint Gregory in 593 to stop a plague. Again, Pope Gregory the 16th took this icon in 1837 to stop the cholera epidemic. So let us come to our Blessed Mother. Let us commit our lives to the Blessed Mother. Let us ask her to protect each one of us. And if you are already a victim of this pandemic, if you are in the hospital, or if your friends, relatives, family members are in the hospital, recite the rosary, place the statue of Our Lady in a prominent place at your home, and ask her to take control of all that is happening. Ask her to protect you and your family from this pandemic. So let us close our eyes and recite this beautiful prayer that someone has recited. I am very touched with this prayer. It's a powerful prayer. Let us recite this. It says, Mary, because you are God's mother, so you can't say you can't. Mary, because you are God's mother, you can't say you can't. Mary, because you are my mother, you won't say that you won't. Mary, because you are my mother, you won't say that you won't. So you will. So you will. Won't you? Won't you? Amen.